And so when she has a bad night's sleep, I have a bad night's sleep. But I'm having a great day today. I feel like I'm at a good level. I'll keep this hand. Karn for sure, if Ethan. If I had to see Death Shadow or Karn in the mirror. Karn. Easy question. That's when I sleep on the floor instead, maybe. The thing is, both of us are really heavy sleepers, so it's like, I'm like, sweetheart, you're kneeing me in the back again, and she's like, okay. And then neither of us change positions, and then that happens many more times in the night, and neither of us sleep well. But we're just both really heavy sleepers. Yeah, we do need a king size mattress. We have a queen sized right now. You know, it's like barely big enough for me, Athena, and Esther. Would I include Esther in my Ocean's 11 heist crew? Probably not. I don't think Esther would be good at a heist. We could minus to play around Skyclave Apparition. I think that's probably correct. It's close. Like, the minus, of course, has a lot of value here. Just not sure. Do you have an opinion on Tails End? I think Tails End is, right now in Modern. That was their play? Yikes. Right now in Modern, in my opinion, Tails End is better than Dovin's Veto against the Uro control decks. And because a big part of Dovin's Veto's role was to be also good against Mono Greentron, where Tails End is better than Dovin's Veto, I like Tails End more. Tails End is also really good against Oops All spells. This is the second time we've done this today, and it still feels really good. Do I play any Standard at all? I have played a lot of Standard in my life. I currently am not into Standard, but that doesn't mean I won't be at some point in the future. Devilous Greg, thank you for your tier 1 subscription. Tons of new subs this week. You guys have really been going all out. I do appreciate you. I'll get a basic plane so my Prairie stream enters untapped. Veterans that don't make you pay life. This is great. What did wildfiring your own land do there? It stopped them from getting a land of their own off of Field of Ruin, is what it did. I think that I'm going to wildfire my own flagstones while their Ghost Quarter is tapped here. Maybe up for debate, if that's good. Is that our last plains? Damn it! Oh, come on. Might as well concede. Drew the last plains off the wildfire before we could get the flagstones trigger. Have I ever thought about writing articles? I've never. I have written an article that never got published, but yeah, I'd be down. Kind of hoping that something along those lines works out soon. I think I'm just gonna bounce the Giver, draw my Cryptic, pass. You know, the stream is kind of like one long article if you really think about it. Wow. Just start my own website and writing. I don't know. It's honestly pretty tough to stream full time and do too much other like content creation. Not that I'm not open to it. But, you know, I stream a ton, and I work a lot off-stream on decks for the stream, so... yeah, there's just a lot. I'm a busy boy. Guess I was supposed to not play my land yet. Not that I'd ever be punished for a mistake I ever made. I like the Faithless Brewing guys a lot. I was on their podcast one time. They're very nice. So earlier when I played this matchup, I was playing against Heliod combo. not more traditional taxes. But I believe this is my current sideboard plan for taxes. Cut the 4 Remand, 4 Force, 4 Madcap, an Emperion, and a Tail's End. I like the Tail's End counters Ghost Quarter, Field of Ruin, Stoneforge Mystic Trigger, which is not great, but it's okay. Also counters Thalia, and it counters the returns to play trigger on Flickerwisp, which is good. But also the, ETB trigger of Flickerwisp, which is less good. Okay, I'm gonna use the restroom while my opponent finishes sideboarding. Be right back. I guess this is a mulligan. Kinda. Yeah, I just don't think you can keep a hand with an Emperion in it. It's hand's so much better. Thank you, London Mulligan. Thank you, London Mulligan. You are still great. And my favorite rule change to Magic to ever happen. Yeah, Tail's End hits a lot of things in this matchup, but it doesn't hit very many of them super efficiently. But the things that it's actively good against are, I think, Thalia, Ghost Quarter, Field of Ruin, and Flickerwisp Return to Play trigger, which is a decent amount of stuff. I'm going to play around a Lean and Arbiter being Viled in, and I think if I want to shock so I can bolt a Thalia or cycle Shark Typhoon for 0. Yeah, there are definitely people who disagree. Ooh. There are definitely people who disagree. That was bad sequencing. Sack the Silent Clearing before you tap your Vial. There are people who disagree and don't like the London Mulligan, and that's fine. I tend to like Magic to be a lower variance game with a more aggressive ban list, but that's the beautiful thing about Magic, right? Is there are a million different ways to enjoy it, and everyone has a different opinion on the direction for it to go. How does this deck work without any sweeper? Did I never miss something like a Verdict, maybe in the sideboard? I have played Supreme Verdict in this deck in the past. I don't, I have never built my control decks to just, always play a sweeper. And our sweeper is Madcap Experiment. You cast Madcap Experiment, and then all of a sudden your opponent's creatures don't matter, is the idea, I think. But we also have a ton of spot removal, and I would also say sweepers are not that good against Prowess. And, Prowess is the kind of premier creature deck of Modern. Alright, let's go bounce their Vial. It's pretty bad if they have a 3-drop to Vial in, I guess, and they can Sword, and they probably do have a 3-drop. But I do think that we want to bounce the Vial instead of the Sword. Maybe that's just not true. Yeah, maybe we should have bounced the Sword. I think maybe I always think bouncing Vial is so good. Not drawing a land is bad, but getting to concede is better. Jeez. Yeah, Tunnel Visioned. Get to be on the play for game 3 though. Where do you think this deck really shines? Have blue-white X control decks moved away from Terminus in general? I was 12-3 yesterday with Miracles. I think that you have to build around Terminus and counterbalance if you want to, and I don't think that you just play Terminus without like a decent amount of support for it. You have to play like Opt and ideally Omen of the Sea and like, a third Jace goes a long way. But there are many different ways to build blue decks in Modern right now, and blue-white X if that's your thing. I've been having a success with a lot of different blue decks lately. We can cast this at instant speed too with this hand, potentially. I guess I want to fetch in response to this. A little scared of a Ghost Quarter next turn, but I don't think I'm going to let that fear stop me from bouncing Giver of Runes with Teferi this turn. If I draw a Cleansing Wildfire, I'll probably Wildfire their Silent Clearing or Castle here. Because you can use the You can use the Arbiter against them. All right, quick summary for Madcap Experiment when you want to bring it in. It is great against Dredge, Eldrazi Tron. Dredge, Eldrazi Tron, and Monastery Swiftspear decks. And it's good against Shadow decks, it's good against Ponza, and it's something you can bring in against Aether Vial decks to have your Remand and Forces not be just dead, and that's effectively it. Kind of stinks to have not drawn a 1-mana removal spell this game. Not a big deal. We did keep the hand, I guess. Another Ghost Quarter would be really bad. Scavenger Grounds. I saw the colorless land and they got a little fearful for a second. The Arbiter is still good, of course. It's shutting off any fetch land off the top. No attack with the Giver out of fear. So we can play the second Flagstones and cast Madcap Experiment. However, that means we don't get the land off of Arbiter. I think we just need the land. Seems too greedy. Do I think they kept in Path? Maybe. They can name Shark Typhoon. I think I do want to cycle Shark Typhoon here. The third Snapcaster. They didn't have a Ghost Quarter last turn. I don't think they have one this turn. They named Jace the Mind Sculptor. This fetch wasn't doing anything because of the Arbiter anyways, but we also can't sack it as long as this is in play. Just something to keep in mind. We can Wildfire our own Scalding Tarn if we draw one of those. Yeah, joke's on you. My fetch lands are turned off anyways, opponent. Wow, what a great draw. Oh, right. Cannot shock in a land. It's so bad for us if our opponent can draw a Ghost Quarter. But I also kind of like the idea of getting a Jace into play. Probably not worth it, huh? Yeah, I think we just wait. I might flash in a Snapcaster just to get the 2-1 into play. We can flash in 2 Snapcasters and then tap their team, attack for 12, put them down to 6, which that puts them down to 2 bolts. But because we'll have a third Snapcaster in our hand, that means we can snap the bolts back. So I'm kind of into that. Pretty bad if they just have a path here, I guess. I don't think they saw this plan game too, though, so I'd be surprised if they had very many Path to Exile in their deck. Yes, Samak. I will try not to forget that, but I don't think I will. Thank you for letting me know. Should be fine. Yeah, we do have a second one of these in the deck, yes. Yeah, Scavenger Ground beats Snap Bolts, but that's also assuming that they just leave up 3 mana for the rest of the game, right? Seems very easy to play around. I don't know what's in their hand. But I'm going to try to get them to 6 here. I'll make a note of that. This also means we could bounce something with Teferi. We did get them down to 6. What is their hand? Probably Giver of Runes. Can also bounce a Snap, but I don't think that that's good because we just have the rest of the playset in hand. Okay. It's not the worst draw. Maybe path the Revoker. They have to pay 4 mana to not get a land either. They're also going down to 4 right now to play Gideon, Ally of Zendikar. So I might just be playing another Ambush Viper here. Yeah, so we can go Ambush Viper into path a creature, Jace bounce a creature, kill them. Awesome, sick game. They're also just dead to 1 path now that they attacked. Ambush Viper, tribal. My brain is pretty smooth, so I'm just gonna double check that they're dead. I can't snap tap team because we didn't have enough blue. We have now won 10 matches in a row today. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. A nice comeback from losing round 1. Yeah, fetch is pretty bad with 2 Arbiters and a Platinum Emperion. Yeah, the Humans guy did come back. We ended up winning the game, but it was a good game. Our opponent has revealed Lurrus of the Dream Den. If I'm gonna path on turn 1, I'm gonna do it off of the Flagstones, and I just might, you know, I just might against a Lurrus deck. What do I think of Cleansing Wildfire in a control deck without Teferi, like a Grixis deck? I think it is much better in white when you compare it with Flagstones of Trokair. I don't love this, but I think it's like a decent tempo play. We did 5-0 the last league, yes. We have won our last 10 matches. And this is a good matchup here, so like in decent shape to win 11 in a row. So we give them a land, we give ourselves a land, everybody gets a land. What decks beat on control like this? The Uro decks is a big one. I think Humans is a favorable matchup for Humans. Goblins is the worst matchup by a decent bit, I guess. Yeah, Goblins is the worst matchup. I'm going to Helix their Scourge, and if they have Mutagenic Growth, it does not save the Scourge. There is one open Dono slot, I think. Panda, I can't remember if Panda was going to donate or not, but if Panda donates, I'll just do 5 Dono decks tomorrow. Why is Goblin so bad for you? They are very resilient to counter spells. They have a really fast combo that we can disrupt, but their combo, elements are, very efficient. But at the same time, they have a lot of very good grindy elements with Goblin, Ringleader, and Matron. And why not face? Because of Mutagenic Growth, which I thought I just said. But whatever. Very good grindy elements, and they play Boil too. So basically everything that's good against you. It's a combination of Boil, Cavern Vial, and Ringleader Matron that just make the matchup tough. Just that, like, all 3 of those things. Opponent puts Lurrus into their hand. I'm going to save the fetch for a possible Mystic Sanctuary, but I don't think I know what I want to get yet. Might get Wildfire for my Flagstones next turn. Might just go like Cryptic there, Lurrus into... It's kind of rude. I think I just want to not lose my 2-for-1 here, and now we can like Mystic Sanctuary, Lightning Helix for Lurrus. Well, now we've drawn Lightning Bolt for Lurrus, so maybe we just get back Cryptic, Bolt Luris, play this tapped, or play this for another Sanctuary. How often do I play against it? Not often. Goblins is not popular, but I also believe Goblins to be good right now, and I think that Goblins is underplayed at the moment. But like that just is the worst matchup. That's the one Goblins is the deck I want to see the least on the other side of the table, even if it's just not popular. What are the bad matchups for Goblins? I think it's like Prowess and like every other bad matchup is fast combo, but they just are a turn 3 combo deck themselves. So against all of Goblins' bad matchups, they just can outrace them usually. Some amount of the time, not every time, of course. Yeah, but like the reason Goblins has fallen out of favor to some degree is Prowess is a bad matchup, and Prowess is super popular and super good. But I also think that you can probably have an okay matchup against it if you sideboard like 8 cards for it, which seems reasonable to me. And maybe I just think Goblins is so good because I play a lot of blue control decks, which Goblins are good against, but I've also played with Goblins a decent amount, and I was pretty impressed by the deck when I was playing it. I also think Goblins is hard to build perfectly. It's not completely obvious exactly the 75 that you want with it. Is the Platinum package good against Goblins? Yes and no. Yes, it stops their combo, which is nice, but they still get to gain infinite life in theory. So like, yeah, you just think about that. And they also they get to gain infinite life, and they usually play a decent number of ways to kill the Platinum Emperion. But I would bring in the package against them for sure, just because your forces and do I want Bolt or do I want Path? I think I want Path. I kind of have them read as having a mutagenic growth from the turn we Helix their guy. No Mux displays in Modern. Modern has been like relatively safe from some decisions in Magic the last couple of years. It's been safe from the Walking Dead Secret Lair. Like it's felt like a healthier format than Modern, or sorry, than Standard. Things are good here in Modern. It's not safe from Jumpstart, safe from Muxus. Yeah, this is a hard cast Shark Typhoon stream. I'm gonna take one. If they like go in on this, I'll path it, but they know I have path, so they won't. Rick Humans win. We actually did it last Thursday for a Dono deck. They shocked the Blood Crypt. Oh, just for the Shadow. Right. So they do play Apostle's Blessing sometimes, so I'll wait on this path just to see if I draw a counter spell. Don't think we need to path right now. Wildfire my Flagstones, ramp a bit, thin a bit, cantrip for Shark Typhoon. 10,000 Hunter. I've got some, I'll say whatever magic stuff you want. Channel point options. I am scared of Apostle's Blessing. I don't have them read as having it. They know I have this path. I guess I'll just upkeep path to Shadow. Is this a Cling to Dust to push? Sorry, we should path to Shadow now, because if they have Blessing, we don't want them to trigger Prowess, and we also get to chump the Shadow too. Hey, you awake? Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Good. We 3-2 with Rick and Glenn in Legacy. It was awesome. What'd you say? I can't hear you.
Tina has been good at sleeping.
Good. Yeah, I took her for an extra long walk this morning, so she wouldn't bother you. Chat says hello to you, Esther. She says hello. Hello. Yeah, the 4-color Uro Omnath deck is great. Playing Phantasmophobia in VR. That sounds like a lot of fun. I played the Resident Evil game in PlayStation VR a few times. It was a lot of fun. Let me perform a routine lag check on my opponent here. Alright, everything checks out. The music is Sadness and Sorrow from Naruto Mana Traders. We did 5-0, Michael. We've actually won our last 10 matches with the deck, which is crazy. It's a pretty hot run. No, we lost our first match, then we went 4-1 that league, then 5-0, then won a match. Now we're in the next one. I kind of think that Uro is like the least scary card out of the Uro Omnath deck, for whatever that's worth. Like, you know, Uro just doesn't impact the board early, which is what the rest of the deck does. Just impacts the board so efficiently and so quickly. It was last Thursday, Pokey. Last Thursday. It was just that one league of Legacy. Uro enables the deck. I don't know that that's even true. I think that the deck would still be playable without Uro. Uro's good in the deck, but it's just like every other card just needs to be answered immediately. You know, Teferi, Ridden 6, Omnath, Saheeli Cat combo. Uro, you know, ramps you, but you know, you don't really need to deal with it until it gets escaped. I'm not saying Uro is not a good card, but I think that when I play against it with these blue control decks, when they cast Uro on turn 3 instead of any other card, it's usually like the card I'm least scared of. That's a long... I guess I have time because our opponent's DC'd. Haunter, this is spicy tech for Haunter. Goblins is underpowered, and obviously that's proof of an unhealthy format. If Wizards was competent at their job balancing, they would print Secret Lair Muxus. That's also legal in Modern because they can. Dude, Muxus would be... Muxus is, I think, a really poorly designed card. It is 6 mana, but it also does way too much for 6 mana. I legally have to read the spicy tech messages, though. So, nothing I can do about that. Opponent's been gone for 4 minutes now. I guess they're just scared of Shark Typhoon. Well, it's not 1 mana with Lackey in Modern, but yeah, that's definitely a problem in Legacy. What about the deck with Saheeli Cat? We were just talking about it. What about it? Sorry, chat's going along, you know. Yeah, Muxus was definitely made for EDH, but is just too good for 60-card formats. Yeah, it's no Aladdin's Lamp. MTG Remy lately made me aware of this card. It might not be Magic Online legal. Maybe I misspelled Aladdin. Looks like how you spell it. Have I played in a big tournament? Yeah, I've played in a few. I've been around for a while. Aladdin's Lamp, 10 mana. And then you can pay X and tap it, and then the next time you would draw a card this turn, instead look at the top X cards of your library and put all but one of them on the bottom and then draw a card. It doesn't draw you a card, but you can do this in your draw step to fix. 10 mana. Opponent's still not here. I mean, Artifact Acceleration was like, I don't know. I haven't seen this art for this card. It's kind of cool. There we go, opponent's back. I'll just block here and say you have to cast a spell or you lose your Swift Spear. Triple black? Dismember, okay. Yeah, just gonna get stolen by Aladdin, of course. Alright, we need to draw something. We probably have 2 turns to do so. Okay, that's a cantrip. I think that we target our own land here to thin our deck, because we just can't keep drawing lands. Maybe I should have targeted an island. I think we'll be okay. Nice. Just like every land we draw is so bad for us, and I actually don't. They might play a 3rd basic. Sometimes they play 2. Sometimes they play 3. Sometimes they play 2. Sometimes they play 3. But it's just so bad every land we draw here, and I don't want to thin their deck. And they can just cast anything they draw. All right, block a Soulscar Mage to see how they react to this. I think their last card is Mutagenic Growth. Looks like it's Team or Battle Rage targeting this. I think we just take 4, but we could draw something off of this. Oh, they just conceded. But I was going to bounce my Snapcaster and draw a card, take 4, and if I drew a 1-mana removal spell, kill this Swift Spear. Also comes with a 4/4 Shark stapled to it. So really long game 1. Most of that length of time was due to our opponent disconnecting, which of course is fine. This has been my sideboard plan in this matchup. I like to bring in 2 Gust, the Platinum package, cut the Forces and Remands, and bring in, or cut 1 more Shark Typhoon. So I'm going to submit this, get some more water, and be right back. This hand, I really dislike mulliganing turn 2 Wildfire. I'm gonna keep. We'll just ramp into Platinum Emperion. Easy. It is hard to keep a hand with this in hand for sure, but it's also not. I don't like mulliganing against Thoughtseize decks anyways. If I can try not to, I would certainly not fault anyone though for mulliganing this hand. Maybe I was supposed to main phase bolt this Swift Spear. I'm not sure. So the Platinum package is not good in the main deck in my opinion, because it's not good against a lot of decks. It's bad against every Teferi Time Raveler deck, probably. But also, once your opponent knows about it, it does get worse. And so, like, often it can be sort of a gotcha in one sideboard game, but it's not going to be, not going to win you every sideboard game. So if we want to bolt this, we have to get a tap land and not pay 2. I think that's something I am just going to have to do here. Yeah, good question for sure. I think that I wanted to get a Steam Vents instead of the Triome, because this can get Triome, but I'm not. It's also possible we were just supposed to get the Triome. Yeah, the last game of the last league was pretty cool. It's been a good stream today. I'm in high spirits. The old attack with Swift Spear, second main, bolt themselves. I see. I mean, still not the best sequencing. I think it seems to me that they realized that they wanted to take this course of action after they attacked. But I think that I'll take the option to try to bolt a shadow. This card's just going to be tough to deal with next turn. I don't think we have a bad Infect matchup, but we still are a Bolt Helix Path deck. It's a Teferi Time Raveler deck, but yes, we don't have a good sideboard plan against Infect, I guess. You could say that. But Infect is also not very popular as a great draw. Gonna put this over here. And shame. We're casting this next turn now, though, and we can hardcast these. You can maybe Jace Brainstorm them away. Opponent is only on 2 cards left in hand. Another Flagstones might mean we can snap Wildfire, but our opponent, of course, has Spell Bomb. So that might not be a thing. Second Shadow. Ha, no attacks. Feels good. I'm gonna plus. If they kill my Snapcaster, we can play another Snapcaster to chump. What is the best Planeswalker in Modern? Probably Rin 6, yeah. Maybe Karn. Maybe Time Raveler. I think that Oko is the best Planeswalker ever printed, and then Rin 6. Although notably, Rin 6 is better than Oko in Legacy, but Oko is better than Rin 6 in every other format. What should we discard here, do you think? Hard choice. And then I think the third best Planeswalker ever printed is Karn the Great Creator. It's just, restricted in Vintage, great in Legacy, great in Modern. And then probably Teferi, and then Jace the Mind Sculptor I think is the fifth best Planeswalker. Oh yeah, Ashiok, sorry. Ashiok is the best one. Forgot about that one. Oh, they have a bolt, they get to kill the Tef, but I don't think they have a bolt. Only 2 mana away from casting this. Let's see if they want to use their Nile Spellbomb on the Sanctuary. But I'd like to Sanctuary back Wildfire, then Wildfire my Flagstones, and hold up Cryptic. Yeah, you might think Deathrite Shaman is the best Planeswalker ever printed, but if you look closely, if you look close enough, you'll see that it's actually a creature and not a Planeswalker. Contrary to popular belief. It's a fine draw. I think I'm just gonna... I don't think I'm gonna do anything tricky here in my instep with this extra mana. I'll just pass. Again, the Cryptic Command lock is like the most overrated thing. Just think in spots like this, you're supposed to try to answer the creatures instead of aggressively go for the lock. And the lock is like very rarely a hard lock anyways. It is sometimes, but just rarely. Why not Cryptic there and put Cryptic on top? That's what I'm getting at. It's like, I don't want to bounce a Sanctuary because I'm trying to hard cast this is one thing. But, this gives card advantage, this isn't. And, I just don't, and we are, drawing cards with Teferi, which is nice, but I really firmly believe that people go for the Cryptic Command Mystic Sanctuary lock super aggressively when they just shouldn't. My opponent has 2 creatures. We have answers to creatures in our deck. We can draw into lightning bolts, and just a lightning bolt is lethal if we draw one here. I just don't want to. I want to draw a card. I don't want to put a Sanctuary into my hand in this spot. There are spots to return Mystic Sanctuary to your hand, but people just do it way too aggressively, in my opinion. I think I'll just try to play it safe. We also have another Cryptic Command in our hand that doesn't require us to bounce a land. And not look here, I'm using my full 10 mana. Was it better to snap the Cleansing Wildfire in response to the Spell Bomb? Wildfire is a sorcery, so that doesn't work. Only can do that if there's a Teferi Time Raveler plus. I'm usually fine just to make my opponent use their Graveyard Hate for, I'll just crack my Mystic Sanctuary and effectively for 0 mana make them use their Relic or Spell Bomb, whatever Graveyard Hate they have. Yeah, I'll just play it safe and cast Shark Typhoon. I don't think we need to bounce Shadow. We definitely could. They're just dead now, though. They don't have... There's just nothing they can have here, because they need to answer the Shark and the Snapcaster. If you bring Rest in Peace from Sideboard, should I take off Snap? It depends on the matchup. I don't think you just automatically do that, but that is a Sideboard plan I've had many times. Well, you want to attack before you bolt them, I think. I don't know. I could just like also rationalize why my losses don't count. I could say, oh, I got mana screwed. Oh, my opponent drew the perfect card. Is this Baggles? Flooded Strand, Leyline of Sanctity. If I had to play a GP tomorrow in a theoretical world, I would play, I don't know, maybe this deck, maybe Miracles, maybe Breach, maybe Shark Blade. I really don't know which of the decks I've been playing I think is the best at the moment. Baggles for sure. That's how you would pronounce them. We're against some kind of brew here. It could be just like Jeskai control that's saying there's so many Swift Spear decks, I'm gonna main deck Leyline. My guess though is that this is some kind of like Jeskai enchantment deck, which is weird. Excuse me. We instead of hardcasting Emperion, we hardcast Shark Typhoon with Cryptic up. And that did it. That was good enough. What time will I start the GP tomorrow? 6 a.m. sharp. Whatever time zone you're in. I think that your opponent says they're a fan. I think that they are Jeskai Wildfire control with main deck Leyline of Sanctity, which is a little weird. I mean, there are just a million Swift Spears, so don't hate it. Not a big fan of Leyline in decks like this. Like, I'm about to bounce it with Teferi, I think. Yeah. Or I'm going to try to. If they force my okay, that was fast. I'll just plus for a turn. Keep it out of bolt range. For now, at least. I think we can wait on bouncing the Leyline. Doesn't seem like a high priority to me. They bolted Teferi once. Maybe could have minus to play around 2 bolts. This is fine though. Now we can just remand the flashback bolt here. Ask why Leyline? I mean, I think I get it. Just there's a million Monastery Swift Spears in Modern right now. There's just so many. I guess I'll attack and Helix the Snapcaster. Just hold up Cryptic. Helix is a little more mana efficient than Bolt here. You can Ghost Regen if you want. No big deal. Yeah, I'll counter this. I think that Teferi being in play is just so much value. And if they play Jace, their Jace is going to die. They might get some value out of it, but it's not sticking around too long. Whoops. Oh no, we can't plus Jace. Ah, man. Shit. We've been had. So we can instant speed Flagstones if we want. Or Wildfire Flagstones, rather. Which I might do, like... Oh, they have a Shark Typhoon? Awesome. I'll trade Shark Typhoon for Snapcaster, or a Shark for Snapcaster if they want. Okay. So now if they play Jace, I think I still just let it resolve. Maybe not. No, I'll remand it. Got plenty of time. We can also double Wildfire them. Just tap some of their mana. Alright, never mind. I'll just Wildfire my Flagstones, get a shuffle. And also win the game very easily and not think too hard about any decision from here on out. Is my plan. No, we could Wildfire their Flagstones to be nice. Kind of like that idea. I'd say we're streets ahead here. Officially streets ahead.
I know you're hogging all the mugs again.
Sorry.
I heard that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, sweetheart. Is there any chance that tea is being made? Hot tea from my hottie. Yes. Everything on the show is just an Arrested Development reference. I have no other personality. I kind of like the look of this. I might like the second Helix more than the second Bolt, but I think I'll just try to keep my curve a little lower instead. Okay, stands a keep. Yeah, Nexus is really good. I mean, I think as long as Mill is a popular-ish deck, you probably want to play a Nexus, but I've also really been liking the Nexus against the Blue Mirrors.
What did you say about my personality?
Did I say something about you? Oh, my personality is all Arrested Development references.
Wait, what did you just reference?
Hot tea for my hottie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was from there.
Yeah. What do I think the most consistent deck in Modern is? I don't know. I think we just let this go. I'd rather force a Planeswalker. We also can like maybe play Teferi Time Raveler this turn. You know, if they're playing we'll see how many disputes they have. I'm only playing one right now. I think it's a good time to jam it. They have a dispute. It's pretty good for them. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, now I just have Force up for their Planeswalker, I think. So it seems good to me. Would of course like to draw a land for next turn. Just be in great shape. Instead of just good shape. We can I might minus Teferi to draw a card if I miss my land. Never mind, they're helixing it. Okay. Alright, well I guess we just need to it's better to do this now so we could draw a land, but we did draw a land. But shields are down for a turn. We could maybe cycle Shark Typhoon if they play Teferi Hero of Dominaria. The upside of drawing a force is probably high enough to cycle Shark Typhoon. They've got a Snap Helix. They are just down to 3 cards in their hand. Kind of a bummer though. Yeah, it's a 12. Yeah, no. We're on an 11 game win streak, right? Yeah, it's only an 11 game win streak. Nothing too crazy, or 11 match win streak. About to be 12. I hope so. We might lose this match. We'll see. We're ahead right now. I'm not 100%. I was hoping to draw a land off of that Wildfire and just have Cryptic up, but you know, the down, just being able to have Typhoon for 1 to block the Snapcaster, I think is also fine. I think that I don't want to. I do want to trade this Shark for the Snapcaster, but I also want my opponent to maybe be afraid of tapping out into 3 open mana. Just so bad if we make a Shark and then they get to resolve something. Not that I think it's right to, you know, be afraid, because in Magic, cowards cannot block warriors, but it's possible my opponent's not aware of that rule. Maybe I'll be a coward here, actually. I think we're ahead enough that we can wait. So we could cycle a Cryptic Command, which I think is good, because I want to keep hitting land drops. I also may want to find a cheap counterspell to protect a threat this turn. And I also we can snap Cryptic next turn if we just want to keep playing Draw Go. I will pay. Oh, I was supposed to Mystic Sanctuary back Force. Oops. Still fine. Favorite stream since the PT qualifier, awesome. This has been a really good stream today. Just in good mood. Can't be in a good mood every day. I think my opponent fought too hard over this. They could just, like, I think they should have just let it go. Just antsy to cast their counter spells, and now they just have no cards. I think that's game. The Dono Q deck is not full tomorrow. I've had a lot of people ask, but there's still an open spot. And I'm not. Panda said something about donating later tonight. If that happens, I'll just play 5 decks tomorrow and stream late every day this week. But one more slot in the queue for right now. Do you have a blue-white control list that still does well? I went 12-3 yesterday with blue-white miracles. It's kind of on a 6 streak the last couple days, I guess. Yeah, we're 2-0 this league. We are currently on an 11-match win streak, and we're up a game right now. I think that they should have countered and bounced their Snapcaster here, but no big deal. All of these cards are so good. I want to have Bolt and Tails end up, I guess. I'll just shuffle away the Snapcasters. They're just kind of mana intensive here, but I guess I'm not going to shuffle them away. I want to draw them, but if for some reason I have to cast Bolt and Tails end, I'll shuffle them away. But I don't really see a eventuality where that happens, but might as well have them up. Why not plus Jace? It was just a mistake, I guess. Opponent has no cards in hand. I think it's correct to brainstorm. I guess you know, plussing is probably game winning too, but you know, we're also, you know, kind of in garbage time where we can never lose in that spot. Turn 2 Wildfire into turn 3 Cryptic. Sneep. Okay, probably playing against Storm, which is a matchup I like usually, but that we could lose with this hand. Lightning Bolt might be nice. Is this a great play? I think so. Opponent says, good luck Spike. They know the deck list maybe. I don't want them to play a mana guy this turn. I actually love this shock. I think it was a good play. Hell yeah, Toast. Big thumbs up to you. Good job. Could be dead. Yeah. Still like this shock. Bluff. Oh. Gifts Ungiven is only deterministically a kill if they have 3 mana floating and a Brawl, but they can hit some mana off of the Manamorphose that we give them. We're going to give them Past in Flames, Manamorphose if they have the traditional pile. So not quite dead yet. We're 3-0 in this league, so we're on a 12-match win streak. It's going pretty well. This is game 1 of match 4. No, not dead. Not dead. Maybe we just have to bin the rituals again. Might bin Manamorphose, give them 1 ritual. No, we just can't get overwhelmed by mana here. It's just so easy to do so in this spot. I think we have a good matchup overall, so I'm not too worried about this, like being able to win the match overall. I don't think we bring in Tail's End, but it is funny that it counters Storm. So we know that they have 2 Past in Flames in their hand. I think 1 is getting cast right now for 3 mana, and I'll go counter it and bounce the Brawl. Why would I not bring it in? Because they can very easily just kill you anyways. Like you counter their Storm and then they go, okay, Past in Flames, Scrape Shot. And it does that and it counters Brawl and that's about it. Alright, game 2. I think our main deck is, decently well constructed against them. I'm going to want this Dispute and then some number of Gust, I think. I'm not a big fan of Path, and I think you can definitely be overloaded on removal in this matchup. I cut a Wildfire too. It can be kind of hard to tap out for. But this looks pretty good to me. This might be the end of the streak. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I haven't seen Mill in a while either. It's possible you want to cut the Nexus, but the Nexus has also been doing work in other matchups. It hasn't been... Don't think I'm ready to cut it yet. But certainly something to be watching for. Opponent might be light on basics. It's possible we can Wildfire them a couple times, get them out. Also can mess with their Scry here. They put 2 cards on top. Perfect. I want to save this for Sanctuary. So I shock the Hallowed Fountain here. One on top, one on bottom. How many basic lands does Fetchless Storm usually play? I think it's 3 or 4. It's a decent amount. Sounds pretty good, Tuesday. Thank you, sweetheart.
Why do you... Is it because you can't find your binder?
I just kind of like having cards to flick.
Oh, okay.
I'm quirky like that. Alright, go ahead, Bad. Go ahead. I'm gonna say no to Cleansing Wildfire here. Maybe I'm supposed to Cryptic this and have Bolt plus Force up. Because Cryptic is pretty unwieldy in this matchup. We can also we can Cryptic it next turn, potentially with now Remand up. Yeah, I shouldn't have addressed the Elo question, but that's why I hope this is a good showcase of why I don't like to talk about mine, because everyone just starts comparing theirs. Alright, let's not die to empty. Oh wait, they just cast that again and then empty. Okay. 4 goblins. This is beatable. We actually have 15 points of burn. With Mystic Sanctuary back, or Cryptic back Mystic Sanctuary. I think I'm kind of fine playing Jace here. Maybe not. Tough.
We also kind of need a second red source, I guess.
Yeah, I'll play this and maybe this can gain us some life and dig for more burn. Okay, so now this can be a sanctuary and this can be a red source. They still have 6 cards in their hand. It's so much. Alright, 4 and 4, putting me down to 13, and then I'll go to 12, then I'll go to 15. Or is it... Oh, I think it's better to cast 2 bolts, because I'm kind of restricted on red mana, than it is to cast the Helix here. Seems correct. We also know that they have a Gifts Ungiven in their hand at the moment. Performing perfectly under pressure. Can cast that. Or we can counter the Cryptic Command. Okay, so we can counter the Gifts Ungiven with Cryptic Command, and then bounce the Mystic Sanctuary, and then next turn play Mystic Sanctuary from hand, put a bolt on top, and end of their turn Mystic Sanctuary bolt, and then play Mystic Sanctuary from hand, get a bolt on top, play Teferi, bolt, and Helix them end of turn. Okay, this is the plan. Doesn't beat everything, but you guys gonna beat everything? You gonna live forever? Cringe. Can't relate.
Oh, right. I work at 3.
They didn't cast the Gifts Ungiven.
My brain. I thought so hard. No, they just didn't cast it. They just didn't cast it.
I work at 3.
Okay, sweetheart. I don't think we want to tap their team. I think I need to hold this up here. So if they counter this, do we force back and then Helix them, Mystic Sanctuary the Helix them again, hope they just can't kill me, and then kill them the following turn with this Sanctuary? I guess the alternate line is to Mystic Sanctuary back Cryptic potentially, and Teferi plus into Cryptic. I guess I was supposed to maybe do this on my upkeep, but not a big difference. This was quite the line we found. Yeah, this was the line that... This is the line. This is what I was saying I was going to do. It seems like they have something, but I'm just not in a position where I can play around things, I guess. If they remand this back to my hand, I can... Yeah, so they remand this back to my hand, but now I can... So to play around another remand, let's upkeep Helix them, go to 9, and then lose to Grape Shot, of course, but beat not die to the Goblin attack, have Force of Negation up for this turn, and then draw Bolt next turn. The only card we know in their hand is Gifts Ungiven. They have 6 cards. I found a neat line. Maybe it wins, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, we're dead to Grape Shot, so we have to force. I guess we don't have to force Gifts. We can just put Grape Shot in the graveyard. I'm gonna force Pieces. Win or lose, I think I found a good line, and that's my favorite thing in Magic to do is find cool lines and think and make decisions. And we got to do that this game. You don't always get to do that. I don't like that they're tapping red. I don't like that this is happening. Ritual. Gifts. In response. Remand. Remand the Force. Did they hit a Grape Shot? This is so exciting. They didn't hit Grape Shot. Manamorphose. Magic is just the best game ever made. Magic is the best game ever made. I do like chess. I have a background in chess. I don't like it as much as Magic, though. But I understand that my reasoning for liking Magic, you know. This was an awesome game. This was an awesome game. And it was a really, really hard line that we found, and we found it. Awesome. I'm always this enthused. I talked about it earlier, but I'm very sleepy today, and so I have less of a filter. But I'm inside always this enthused. Thank you, Esther. How much coffee have I had? Just 2 cups, and I'm sipping on some tea right now, which usually is calming me down. That was just super exciting. I don't know. I thought that was worth getting hyped up for. Let's keep this. I think I'm going to put back the Wildfire. I know we can't cast the Helix yet, but it's hard to not have an answer to a mana dork. We didn't top deck a Helix. We just saw like a really convoluted line where we burned them 3 times, and then we bounced the Sanctuary and Sanctuaried again. Maybe it's not that convoluted, but it was just like 3 turns ahead. I don't know. It was kind of a long couple turns, but it was cool. I had a good time. Just love really interesting games of Magic, and I thought that game was really interesting. And then, like the Remand let us Force of Negation, which was pretty cool. So tons of stuff about that game was super cool. Yeah, we had to ban the ELO stuff because everybody's just comparing numbers. Not that it's the biggest deal in the world. I was just talking about how I don't talk about my ELO score ever. It's just because it's people come in the chat and say, hey, what's your ELO number? What's your ELO score? And they're mostly just trying to brag about what their current ELO record is, which is fine. We all need to brag sometimes. But then it just derails the chat. Missing our land drop stings. Hopefully we can find one off of Remand. There we go. Been trying to talk about Electric Light Orchestra for 10 minutes. They're also banned. Just kidding. I'm a fan, I think. What's up? Oh, thank you. A snack for me. Now you can still cast Empty even if this resolves or even if we force this because they have this one coming. So
Bye, baby.
bye, have a good day, sweetheart. I love you. You want to knee me in the back one time for good luck? I don't think she heard that. Probably before the best. But she was kneeing me in the back a lot last night. Well, we beat a bunch of goblins last game. I don't think we can again. We do just I don't know. Kind of a bummer. The streak had to end at some point. This is game 3. No sweepers in the 75. We just have to Cryptic Command forever, but that's just not going to work. Next turn we can bounce a goblin with Teferi, And Helix a Goblin. Which is not great. Or good. Bye-bye. Can't also Mystic Sanctuary. No, I didn't bring in the Madcap. I don't think it's good in this matchup. We could remand this, but I think we don't. They're at 20 life. We're not burning them out. The only way we can win is answering these. We get them down to 7 goblins here. And we could draw like Shark Typhoon and another Lightning Helix, or even Mystic Sanctuary Helix. You know, I'm not... We're probably like 2 or 3% to win from this point, but maybe not 0. Alright, gonna graveyard the Grape Shot and the Dispute. Bounce a Gobbo. So we're gonna take 6 down to 4 next turn, or sorry, down to 7 next turn. So we're gonna get another turn. If Answer Gobbos was our line, shouldn't we have forced one of the copies? Yeah. Yeah, but a Shark Typhoon to make a 2/2 Shark, it's gonna go a long way. I hope. We're gonna force the Past in Flames here, and we can play Jace and Mystic Sanctuary Helix too. That too, like a lot of stuff, of course, but not quite dead yet. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Teferi dies, but it's close. I think I'm playing Teferi over Jace. And then we have Bolt and Helix up. And I think what I'm going to do here is Helix right now, a Goblin. So it can't get countered, but also it's less Storm, and also it might mean my opponent only sends 5 Goblins at Teferi, and we can bolt one of those. If my opponent has nothing, and we draw really well, we can win. But that's about it. We're dead. They have a Grape Shot in their yard. Stinks. Did our best. The 12-match win streak is over. We've been dethroned. Still, 12 in a row is a pretty sick run. Did my best. Yeah, but the game 2 was awesome, and you know, getting to play a great game of Magic like that is definitely worth it, even if it means we lose the match. 12-match streak. Hell yeah, Alchest. Appreciate you, bud. So playing against Mono Green Tron, you know, in my experience, all that really matters in this matchup is drawing like wildfires. And when you do, the matchup's pretty good, and when you don't, the matchup's not. Yeah, we did 5-0 today, Johnny. Did 5-0 the last league. Best run to date? I don't think so. I think my best record over 3 leagues is 14-1 on stream, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while. I've had a lot of 13 in 2 days. I've also 5-0'd 3 leagues in a row before, but it's been a while since that. Andre, 2 months in a row, welcome back. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate you. I think I've 5-0'd 3 leagues in a row, like maybe twice ever. Well, when they play turn 2 Forest, it's just such a gift. You just have to hope you can capitalize on it, I guess. Yeah, Cleansing Wildfire, I do genuinely think was the exact card this archetype needed to exist again. Yeah, 24-hour stream is dead. It also was never going to happen. I don't think I have the mental stamina to do a 24-hour stream. Especially when I didn't sleep very well last night. think I want to let this go. So make a 1/1 shark, get a little bit of pressure in play. That's kind of bad. Hoping to draw Wildfire at some point, but we have time because we have Remand, and I was thinking we had Snap Remand, but kind of looks like we don't, I suppose. It's a good draw. But there definitely are games where you can just, you know, chip in some damage, get in there. Who's dropping 2 months in a row? Hell yeah, buddy. Thank you. A lot of 2-month subscribers today. It's a really good sign for the stream's health. No, I think I would rather Shark than Viper, because it's one more look at a Wildfire, but I do think that Vipering is maybe an option. We didn't have Snap plus Helix. We only had 3 mana last turn. Oh, force whatever they played. No, not when we have Cryptic Command up. Not while we have Cryptic Command up, I think. I would have said Remand, Snap Remand was an easy play. I think I disagree. I think they're just like so good at getting Tron together. I do think that not everyone would have made the same play I did here, but I think I like the line I've taken. Now, you can just kind of play a game where you counter everything Tron does sometimes. So I think this turn we're probably going to go Remand their play and then run out Snapcaster as an Ambush Viper unless they pop the Relic. And then next turn we'll have Cryptic Command up. We also have Force up this turn. So yeah, I guess we'll use Force before we use Remand. If we can. The crew fix 2 months in a row, another 2-month sub. It's so awesome. Thanks, buddy. Alright, running out the Snapcaster. It's just like with a forest in play, I feel like they aren't stumbling for Tron. I don't know. Definitely not super clear. Yeah, Wildfire is still like the card we were hoping to draw into. So get them down to 12. Going to counter draw this. I think that I want to force the Relic pop. Not that they're definitely going to pop Relic here. Vader, thank you for your tier 1 sub. Appreciate you, dude. Love to see new subscribers too. Hopefully we get you back next month too. This makes them use a mana. And it also means we can cast the Helix this turn and get the Relic off the field. I'm not gonna bounce Sanctuary. I know someone in chat wants me to, but we bounce Sanctuary next turn. We don't draw anything. We just put Cryptic on top, and then we lose the game. They have another Worm Coil? Jeez. Okay. Helix you. Why not wait to counter bounce to tempo them out? I don't think we knew they had a second Worm Coil in their hand. We countered one and we remanded one. I didn't have the the third Worm Coil rather. Sorry, second Worm Coil. Yeah, we have a million options here. I don't think it's hard cast Shark Typhoon as much as I want it to be. Yeah, we might just go Snapcaster, Cryptic, bounce the Worm Coil, but we also might go Snapcaster, tap the Worm Coil, and that way we can attack with this Snapcaster next turn. Helix, tap, attack. I don't know how Helix is part of this conversation. Dead the Bolt if we tap draw. No. If we tap draw, it goes to 6, and Bolt puts them to 3. Tap draw on their turn, yes. But also no, because we're only attacking for 5. Oh, right, because we get a 1 point of damage here. You're right, they are dead to bolts. Yeah, that's the play. We also have Force up too. We could tap bounce Snapcaster, or we could tap bounce Mystic Sanctuary, and then cycle Shark Typhoon into Sanctuary, but that also is worse against a lot of things. 5 cards in our opponent's hand. I think I'm just gonna tap draw. I think bouncing Sanctuary is also fine. Don't have another Sanctuary, so this isn't like a reasonable top deck. It's getting Sanctum. God Sanctum played Blast Zone. Takes Blast Zone up to 1. Okay. And Sylvan Scrying. So it looks like maybe bouncing Sanctuary would have won. They're out of gas. Okay, so if we make a 4/4 Shark, attack for 5, they gain 6, and the next turn we're attacking for 10. That puts them dead if they still have nothing. Why tap draw when you can bounce and make them waste 6 mana? Because then if we bounce, they replay it, and then the Snapcaster can't deal damage. Yeah, Jingotha's so bad because everyone always forgets about her. Okay. So if we make, can we make a 3/3 Shark and still kill them next turn if they attack with Worm Coil? And that way we have Force of Negation up. I guess not because they have Blast Zone on 2 now. Alright, does a 6/6 Shark kill them next turn? No, it puts them to 2. I think we just pass. So obviously what I'm thinking, or maybe not obviously, what I'm thinking about cycling Shark Typhoon looking for a bolt. But I think that a big Shark Typhoon gives us, you know, a redraw a bolt next turn anyways, but also potentially with the ability to also hardcast Force or pitch Force. They put the Jingotha in their hand, but they're not casting it. They're gonna get a Forest. They got a Tower. Plays Forest. And can play Jingotha with Blast Zone up. Yeah, looking for a Planeswalker seems like something too. But this also puts them dead to a bolt. If we had drawn it off of Shark Typhoon. But also maybe gave us the option to force something. Another land. It's unfortunate. I think we'd bounce Worm Coil with that. If only we could bounce the Snapcaster. Yeah, but this loses to like Ulamog or Ballista and like nothing else because we have Force and they almost very clearly don't have much. We don't want to bounce Snapcaster because they have Blast Zone on 2. I just said we can't do it. They just sacked their Blast Zone. I wish I could. Believe me. I'm on board. Yeah, but with their hand being mostly lands, it seems it's gonna, and you know, a Worm Coil now, it's gonna be difficult for them to deal with the Jace. In fact, I think that we can pretty easily infer that this is their draw step, right? They don't have Blast Zone, either Karn or you know, sorry, Oblivion's still not Blast Zone. They don't have a non-creature threat that can answer our board in hand. This could draw them into Walking Ballista or Ulamog, so I think we are supposed to force this. I think we could pretty easily infer all of these things, and if okay. I feel like I'm on top of it today. I don't know, maybe this is just super obvious, but just wanted to at least explain my thought process. We'll love to counter an Eldrazi trigger with Tail's End today also. So, you know, we don't have as many counter spells for this matchup as we used to. We used to have 4. So we have to. So I think that like the first Gust is fine, but then it's like, do we want to play Bolt? Do we want to play Path? Do we want to play more Gust? I think I'll just play Bolt. But Path is like better against Worm Coil, but Worm Coil is like pretty bounceable. They often side out Worm Coils. And this is good against Karn the Great Creator and just like our burn plan, which is a real thing. This feels like the most I've ever seen me in the zone. Yeah. I definitely feel in the zone today, for sure. I think maybe I just have had the opportunity to make some good plays when maybe I don't always. Sand's not good, but if I'm going to mold to 5 in this match, it is game 2 on the draw. And we can just draw that. Wildfire's been good today. We're 12-2 right now, up a game. We went on a 12-match win streak, sandwiched in between 2 losses. Do I plan on doing a sideboard guide for Jeskai without the Madcap package? Not at the moment. I plan on doing one with the Madcap package because it's, you know, the list I'm running, I guess. You know, my goal was to have just like weekly updated sideboard guides, but I've just had, you know, stuff come up on weekends when I would usually be working on that stuff. And I should be able to work on it this Sunday, but maybe not. But it's my best friend's wedding. I'm the best man and just a busy boy these days. Alright, they cannot stop me from snapping Wildfire here. Yeah, Tails End I think is really good in this matchup. I've been a big fan. It's definitely a weird card, but one I've liked so far. Second Snapcaster is kind of awkward. Maybe we'll just pitch it to Force. I'm not gonna Sanctuary Tails End here. I think we could. I think I'm not going to. I want to draw more Wildfires. I'm going to target the Mine because that's the one I've already killed once. This was a mold of 5 by us. Did they mulligan? No. Feels unfair when the mono green Tron deck keeps 7. The control deck molds to 5. Well, I'm going to pitch that to Force. I have found that you can just kind of go over the top of them sometimes with this. That's awesome, Crasher. Yeah, I've been pretty impressed by Tails End the last few days. Alright, our play this turn is just cycle Shark Typhoon, and because we have another Typhoon that is a mana-hungry card, we could find a land off of this. And then maybe make a 4/4 Shark next turn, and that could be important. So we are showing that we're shields down, but I think that the upside is here, especially when our opponent is hopefully stumbling a bit. We lost the Storm match. We were able to beat a bunch of goblins in game 1 through a really convoluted series of burn spells and Mystic Sanctuary, but we weren't able to do the same thing in game 3, sadly. Tef is really good, I think. Gus is nice to be able to counter a Scrying or a Stirrings. Or not counter, stop for a turn. I like how aggressively our opponent is cycling Relic. I feel like I see people just not cycle their Relics nearly aggressively enough. In general, just kind of generally speaking. They'll just like need action so desperately and just sit on a uncycled Relic. No, I'm going to make a 2/2 Shark there instead of playing Snapcaster for sure, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna gust this. We still have Force up, and this also lets us play Snapcaster for lethal. And you know, just not too many other targets for Gust. Even if they play their Tron piece, if this is some kind of sick bait, they can't activate Blast Zone. So I'll just leave up Force so I can't lose to anything. Attack them for 8. And win the match. Question: if the Madcap package is mostly for Vile decks, wouldn't the White Gear Hulk be a better target than Emperion? It's also hard castable. So I guess a couple of things. I did say it's mostly for Vile decks. I think that I maybe stumbled a bit when I said that. The Madcap package is mostly for Monastery Swift Spear decks, while also giving you a good plan against Eldrazi Tron, Dredge, and what I really like about it, and this isn't the main reason to play it, but what I really like about it is that you have like 6 cards to bring in for these dead counter spells against Aether Vial decks. Like Remand and Force are so bad against Aether Vial decks, and it's really difficult to build a sideboard with 7 cards you can bring in for those slots for Aether Vial decks, while also covering your other bases. So that's one thing I want to clarify that. And the other thing is Madcap Experiment only works with Platinum Emperion or Platinum Angel, because Madcap Experiment deals damage to you equal to the amount of cards revealed. So you can just die if you play anything besides Platinum Emperion. But this means you don't take any damage, your life total can't change. So you don't take any damage when this is the artifact you're hitting. Yeah, it's also good against Shadow. So I just wanted to clarify that. Let's open these chests.